So this is just going to be a very quick video about the Avengers Endgame box office and how it's really climbing up the box office charts, breaking a lot of records. So basically, before the movie was ever released, there was a lot of pre-sale tickets. Those alone were enough to make waves. People were estimating that the Avengers Endgame would most certainly pass the $200 million mark in their opening weekend, held by only a few other movies like Infinity War, which has $257.7 million, Star Wars Force Awakens at $248 million, and even The Last Jedi got $220 million. But Avengers Endgame is doing amazing, and it had its opening weekend at $357 million domestically, which in itself is completely unheard of. It broke that record. It's the new high at that point. It's actually very likely it's going to pass the $400 million mark as of today. Needless to say, Disney is reeling in the dough on this one. And Marvel's MCU is a golden goose that just doesn't let up. Its global take is actually $1.22 billion, and it's climbing. It has $866 million international, most of it coming from China, who makes up a great portion of the ticket sales. Not to mention the die-hard fans, like myself, are going to go see the movie or have seen the movie twice at this point, and that's going to prop up Endgame to pass many other records. Like, many people have been clamoring about the whole superhero fatigue, and, people have to be sick of it at this point, and the Marvel formula is so getting dull and such, but it definitely can't be that extreme if it made it this far in a box office like this. Honestly, I don't think the superhero thing is going to die out anytime soon unless Marvel changes the way they do things drastically in this new era, in phase 4 of the MCU. The next Spider-Man movie looks good, and I'm sure it's going to be just as great as Homecoming was, but we'll just have to see what direction they go. Without any Endgame spoilers, the ending of that movie changes a lot of things. You can't have the regular Avengers anymore, not in the same way. Of course, the movie Avatar, released in 2009, held the record for the greatest box office, near $2.78 billion total, but with an opening that the Marvel Avengers Endgame got, this record could be broken. And I mean, when you compare the two films, I think the final closing chapter in an amazing 22 or 23 films MCU should probably beat Avatar, which is mostly known for its visual effects. Like, it pioneered the 3D movie craze, basically. Despite enjoying the movie myself, I know the story in Avatar is not wholly original. I've seen it before, but it's told a bit differently, and that's part of where that draw is. But Infinity War got 4th on the greatest worldwide box office take, with the top 3 being Avatar, Titanic, and Force Awakens. Force Awakens, very understandable. Everyone was hyped for the new Star Wars. With a very divisive Last Jedi, I really wonder how Episode 9 is going to perform, because there's a lot of people that are just plainly boycotting Star Wars now, especially for how Disney handled the backlash to Last Jedi. Saying first that it was Russian bots, to now saying it's man babies that can't take change. There's a lot of problems there. But we'll just have to see how Rise of Skywalker actually does. It's going to be very interesting. There's also been some brouhaha about how Endgame is opening to $357 million was actually impossible. But they're probably not counting the fact that many theaters just end up showing Endgame and a lot of their screenings just because other screenings of different movies don't sell as well. Just like in my theater alone, there were a lot of other theater rooms playing Endgame. So it makes sense when you take that into consideration. But I mean, it really does seem like Endgame may beat the $3 billion mark if it's shown in theaters long enough, and really it only needs a couple months, I think. If you've seen Endgame, you know it really is deserving of all the hype it's getting. But I mean, we'll just have to see how the market changes once the initial excitement and all the memes and stuff die down for the movie, and the spoilers are going to get released everywhere, which might ruin the movie for a lot of people, and they just won't want to go. But yeah, I just want to talk about the box office earnings for Endgame for a little bit. I'm definitely going to do a follow-up video if Endgame actually breaks the $3 billion mark, because that's a huge testament. But until then, remember to drop a like and subscribe for more Marvel stuff just like this, and any Walking Dead stuff that might drop. And thanks for watching.